Hey crafty friends, this is Jenny from crafttestimonies.com, and today I have a really fun video for you. I received a challenge box from Plaid, and they wanted to show me this new product called Mod Podge Ultra, and it's a spray Mod Podge, which is pretty exciting. They also sent me this box, which I'm unpacking for you now, filled with glitter and sequins and yarn and trays and wood substrates, just all kinds of fun things. And they asked me to make something with the items in the box. So I did a little bit of experimenting and I thought I would show you what I made. I'm also going to share with you some of my thoughts about Mod Podge Ultra as we go along. Let's take a look. So I'm really intrigued with this tray. It's nice and deep, it's got a cool shape, and I tried the glass tiles in the bottom, but it didn't quite cover. So I think instead of using it as a tray like this, I'm going to turn it into a message center, and I'm going to do it all with Mod Podge Ultra. So the first thing I'm going to do is just make sure that I understand the dimensions of the bottom, and I cut a piece of cardstock to fit it, and then this became my template for everything else. So now what I'm going to do is actually glue in some foam, because then I'm going to actually cover it with some cork to make my message center. So while I'm working here, let me give you a few tips and tricks on working with Mod Podge Ultra, which comes in two different finishes, matte and shiny. I'm working with the matte here. As you can see, it is a spray. It's a very thin, liquidy spray, so it will spray over the edges of your project, so make sure you protect your work surface. You can see I've got some paper down here. Also, you're going to need to prime the pump, which just means getting it going. Do that on a paper towel or a rag. Now, I've been storing mine upside down in water to make sure it doesn't clog, which is why I've got some extra drips, but it does clean up with soap and water, so that's pretty easy to do. Just a tip, in between using your spray Mod Podge, make sure you wipe off the nozzle. I've actually been storing mine upside down in a little bit of water, which is why my label is worn off, but you just don't want it to clog, so take a little precaution. So in that last section of video you saw me add the craft foam. Now I'm actually adding a little bit of rope to the handle, and I am using hot glue for that just because it will keep it all stuck down. But I'm going to add Mod Podge Ultra over the top of the rope as a spray sealer. Remember that Mod Podge Ultra is hard, non-tacky, durable finish, good for inside and outside, which means that I can spray this rope and it'll actually help it be more durable if I'm using it in different weather. And I am wiping it up with a damp cloth because overspray, but it cleans up really easily. So the next thing I did was add a layer of cork, and because this is a thin formula, it did want to kind of buckle up a little bit. Also, the cork was in a roll, so I smished it down with my hands and then I weighted it with some paint and let it dry overnight. It was good as gold. All right, the next morning everything was dry, stuck down permanently great. I added a little bit of that rope trim on the inside because I felt like there was a gap, and I just thought it set it off nicely. I am going to use a little bit more of the Mod Podge Ultra just to make sure all of that trim is down, durable, sealed, and a little more on the cork too, just in case I decide to use this as a serving tray later on. Here's my finished piece, all hung up, ready for our guest room for people to hang up their keys with the Wi-Fi password. I love it. I hope you enjoyed this project. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, like, subscribe, and I'd love to answer any questions you might have about Mod Podge Ultra. Thanks so much for watching, and have a crafty day.